Marshall had 2 weeks of freezing temperatures as winter weather did more to disrupt Missouri Valley than COVID for the first time since 2019. Welcome to KMVC News. I'm Erica Moreno. More on the cold blast that affected the middle of the nation in a minute. The active COVID-19 case count on campus is 3. That's up from KMVC's broadcast 2 weeks ago when there weren't any active cases on campus. The spring semester dashboard is available on moval.edu. Highs were low. Missouri Valley College, like much of the United States, got blasted with a major winter storm. The overnight low in Marshall into February 17th was 9 below. The high on the 15th was 0, and there was snow and wind throughout the week. KMVC's Shay Wilson reports on how some snowed-in students battled the bitter cold.
Due to the diverse student population at Missouri Valley, many students, domestic and international, aren't used to the colder weather Missouri holds.
In Texas, where I live, it's actually warm all year round. So coming here during winter season is a big change, especially for clothing-wise. And I have to buy a bunch of winter clothes because they don't sell those in Texas.
Many students are also physically affected by the change in weather.
Coming from Hawaii, going to Missouri was a huge change for me when it comes to weather. It's really hard to adapt with the cold. It makes my skin dry so bad.
Thanks to COVID-19 protocols, Missouri Valley is able to hold classes readily online, allowing students to receive their education even when extreme weather hits. Shay Wilson, KMVC News.
Marshall had a high of 66 on the 23rd and almost 80-degree temperature swing from a week ago. The Missouri Valley College wireless network endured extra stress during the last week with campus moving to remote instruction. KMVC's Cooper Bryant reports on the problems the extra traffic has created.
The extra stress on the Missouri Valley wireless network has caused some internet slowdowns for students last week. MVC student Daniel Jackson says he had some serious issues while trying to participate in his virtual classes last week.
Yeah, I had some personal trouble logging into my online classes and things like that.
MVC Systems Administrator Jason Rennie says that despite the extra traffic, the network has not reached maximum bandwidth like it had last year. Rennie also says that at the start of the pandemic, the IT department expanded bandwidth capabilities and upgraded to a new firewall capable of handling additional traffic. Rennie also says that the issues they had been reported last week were not a bandwidth issue, but an issue with the model of firmware used by the wireless network controller, and it was updated on Sunday morning. Meanwhile, Jackson says that even though he did encounter some issues, he appreciates the IT department and thinks they've been doing a good job of keeping up with the increased demand of the students.
Yeah, they did a maintenance, a maintenance update or something this weekend, and it's really been smooth sailing since then.
Cooper Bryant, KMVC News.
The popular app WhatsApp was recently frozen for Missouri Valley College students, creating a struggle for those trying to contact their families and especially for international students. Not being able to speak to your parents can be frustrating. For most students at Missouri Valley College, this isn't a problem. However, for some students whose parents live internationally, that can be a difficult task. For a period of time, the WhatsApp app wasn't working while being on campus at Missouri Valley College. The systems administrator, Jason Rennie, sent out an email informing the students that they believed the issue was due to a WhatsApp update that had recently taken place.
I can talk to my mom, and she's like my best friend, and her being outside of the country, that's like the easiest way we can like talk to each other. So like not having WhatsApp working, I was kind of like really frustrated because sometimes she's not able to talk to me because there's power outages. She lives in a third world country, so when I didn't have control of talking to her, like I was super frustrated.
As you can see, the fact that WhatsApp wasn't working on the Missouri Valley College campus was an issue.
I did realize like at first some of my text messages like I would think they would send, but then my mom said she wouldn't even get them till like hours later. So I don't know if it was like on our end or her end, but like I know they took a long time.
For Valentina Cardoso Rodriguez, contacting her family was a challenge, especially for someone who is used to being on the phone with their family at least twice a day. It was worrisome. Cardoso says Every time that I tried to call, the video would get stuck, and I was worried because I didn't know what was going on. Cardoso says that WhatsApp wasn't working for her for at least a week and a half. WhatsApp is currently up and running without any issues, so students are now able to speak with their family. The Missouri Valley College men's volleyball team is rising in the rankings behind a 9-2 start to the season, supported by the play of libero João Vitor Bonanoni. KMVC's Scott Beasley reports on Bonanoni's recognition by the NAIA.
João Vitor Bonanelli was recognized for the NAIA National Player of the Week after the upset against Park University.
He made an immediate impact, got along really well with all the guys on the program, and just really helped us establish, the sort of professionalism that, is going to help us hopefully keep competing at a high level this year.
Bonanelli says,
for me, it's just like something that personally is like really good, but I think it's more like a team goal for me, I cannot do points in a game. I'm a libero, so I play just defense. So I cannot help the team doing points, but I can help a lot then to make points.
We have to fight each other because I'm the hitter and he's the defender, so we have a lot of contact and a lot of time we have to deal with each other. So I mean, that's pretty good to have him in the team because even about his game, outside he brings a lot of energy with the team, and he shares it a lot. When you're struggling, when the team not really feel good, he's always here to bring energy, and that's something that I really like.
Bonanelli has received Men's Volleyball Defensive Player of the Week 4 straight weeks in a row. Scott Beasley, KMVC News.
Valley's won 8 of its last 9, upsetting Missouri Baptist and Park along the way. Its only loss since the season start was last week to number 1 Grandview in 4 sets. The Missouri Valley College men's wrestling team took its first steps towards the national tournament with the Heart of America Athletic Conference Championship. KMVC's Scott Beasley reports.
Missouri Valley College men's wrestling team competes in the Heart of America Athletic Conference Championship meet and places 2nd place overall.
I feel pretty good. A lot to work on for sure. But, my bottom game, I suck on bottom, but it is what it is. We're gonna get it done. I'm gonna win it. I'm winning. I go to the V's. Represent the V's good.
Head coach of the men's wrestling, Coach Michaels, said,
The conference championships this year went off really well. We're able to qualify all 12 of our athletes to the national championships, which we haven't done that in a couple of years. Had 9 get automatic qualifications and 3 were voted in for wild cards. So we're pretty fortunate. We didn't have any winners. We did have 2 in the finals, but able to at least get everybody through that round, which is really kind of considered as our first round of the national championships. And now we're off and running to Wichita here on March 4th and 5th.
This year I feel really prepared. I feel really confident in my abilities. I'm excited just to go out there and represent the V's and bring back some gold to the Valley. Just to go out there and let the other people know that I'm going to be a force to be reckoned with. I'm going to be an All-American and hopefully the national finals.
The wrestling team is now practicing and getting ready for the national tournament. Scott Beasley, KMVC News.
The team finished 2nd overall in the team standings. All 12 Viking individual wrestlers qualified for the NAIA Men's Wrestling National Championship. The Missouri Valley College competitive cheer team won its first 3 consecutive competitions last week. KMVC's Marina Diaz takes a look inside the team's success.
The MVC cheer team hit the road 3 days in a row to secure 3 first-place awards during the first weekend of February. Head coach Nick Lutz says he is proud of their accomplishments and has high hopes for the 4-time national championship team.
My expectations are very optimistic. So far we've rolled with the punches that have come our way. I think from here on out, we have a much better idea of what we can expect, both from outside sources for whether it be different restrictions or whatever we need to work with, and I definitely can confidently say I can expect nothing but the best from our team. If they've proven that that they're capable of performing and doing their job well in any situation. So from here on out, I mean, I expect them to continue doing what they've been doing and only getting better, and I expect success.
Lutz says that their success can be attributed to the overall mindset the team has to continue to improve their skill level. Senior Jasmine Zelensky says that the team is focused on beating themselves each time, and that if they go out with the mindset that it is us against us, that they will continue to be successful.
I think that since being on the national championship team since freshman year, that we just hold ourselves to a standard and hold Valley's cheer team like we know that like we are now a 4P conference regional title, and that's what we're shooting for again this year. So we just continue to make sure that like whatever we did freshman year, we're going to continue to do that to still be on top.
Zelensky says that the coaches have brought their experience and technique to the team, and that the program's mentality is to be the best they can be. Marina Diaz, KMVC News.
The cheer team competes at the Heart Championship on the 26th. The NAIA National Championships are March 12th and 13th. Due to the heavy snowfall and freezing temperatures, Missouri Valley spring sports teams are having to change how they practice and where they practice. Spring sports are now starting, winter sports are still in season, and some fall sports had games pushed to spring. So scheduling practices is a challenge, but the dates for games aren't changing. And Valley's men's lacrosse team opens its season on the 24th. KMVC's Adam Balkin reports on how the team is preparing for its first game.
The freezing temperatures and heavy snowfall has caused problems for the lacrosse team and other sports on campus. Head coach JD LeMay says it has been a hassle trying to get his team in the gym.
It's been tough. Being here in Missouri, I mean, the last week and a half, 2 weeks, it's been single digits. Real feel has been negative degrees, so it's been tough to get outside. And for our sport in lacrosse, we really need to be outside. Getting in the gym is good. It's nice, but for us, being in the gym is very difficult sometimes. We can only get stick work stuff and really can't do much physical contact, and we're a very physical contact sport, and we really need to be outside. So the last 2 weeks have been very difficult. Yeah, we've been able to go and get in and get our stick work stuff done, but we need to be outside getting physical with each other and getting ready.
Although the snow and the icy roads put a pause to practice, Coach LeMay feels that his team is well prepared for their first game.
I believe so. Like I said, being in the gym the last 2 weeks, we haven't really taken a day off, doing all the fine-tuning stuff inside so that when we can get outside today and this weekend we can get after it and continue the fine-tuning and put everything in on real field.
Adam Balkin, KMVC News.
And that's KMVC News for this week. Our next show is scheduled for March 9th. I'm Erica Moreno.